Yes, people, welcome back to the Ratcave, and welcome back as well to Matthew Reay, the man himself.
Yo. I was just saying before, we're friendly, peaceful people. We just stand here with our microphones discussing how beautiful the MP2015 is.
Right, so this is it. You've given it away already. It's the MP2015 that you've brought in today. You're flying the Rane flag as per the T-shirt, and actually full Rane setup that you've brought in to use with this MP20.
Yeah, we've actually got this running with Serato, and we're using it with the 12 or the Mark IIs. We've got the recess ports. That's why they're in the club mode. Yeah,
nice. Club mode. First time that I've ever seen the 12s used in club mode.
Yeah, it's cool. So basically you can have the USB and the IC lead just kind of... Basically the recess is right under here, so they can sit flush.
Yeah, they do. They do look very flush, I have to say. So, mate, yeah, let's get straight into it. So I'm going to actually be completely honest with you. I've only ever heard about the MP2015. We do have them in stock, right? But I've never actually played on one, and I've never got hands-on with one before. So I'm really, really interested to see what it's all about and to see if all of the myths are true.
All of the Wonderground articles are true.
Oh, mate, we'll forget about the Wonderground article for now. Link in the description of this video. No, I'm only joking. So, yeah, what I want you to do, mate, is just basically, in a really small nutshell, just tell me about a little bit about the actual unit itself, and then we can go into its ins and outs, if that's all right with you.
Cool, let's do that.
Sweet.
So, bit of history on rotary mixers in general. People of a certain age or a certain era, when you say rotary mixer, they'll immediately think of things like the Bosac mixer, which was one of the first of its kind in terms of audiophile quality, the discrete components used. We're talking the days of disco here. Yeah. So that's something that's always referenced. That's kind of always been the gold standard and the kind of starting point for rotary mixers. And then skipping forward a few years, you had the Uri 1620. Again, very similar vibe. People, hold it in great reverence. But as far as Rane and the first rotary mixer, it was actually, now ignoring the kind of naming standard here, it was called the MP2016.
Yeah, it's so confusing.
That was in 1999. Okay, and that was that was a rack mount thing. And again, it was Rane. By that point, Rane were very established. And it was continuing that legacy of rotary mixers. And when we think of rotary mixers, we tend to think of certain genres as well. You probably know. Yeah. Nowadays, we think of them as, mainly the techno guys and girls.
Mate, this mixer just screams techno to me.
Totally.
Like, real long blended mixes,
totally,
just techno sort of. You've been in the rave for 2 hours and all you've heard is the same song. I just want to say I quite often bash techno in these videos. I'm all right with techno. I do like it. I don't play it myself that often, but no, this mixer, I can see how
good save.
I can see how it gets the techno stamp on it because it looks like it belongs in Berlin.
Yeah, no, I've seen a few in Berlin,
Yeah.
I mean, it's, like you say, long blends. It's a very different way of mixing. It lends itself to certain genres. Obviously, those mixers I've talked about before, the Bosac and the Uri, there was disco, etc. And then with this, we tend to see it in certain circumstances. Either just using straight vinyl, or, we can use a digital setup if we want to, media players. In the case we've got the 12s. Mm-hmm. So, to get something out of the way first, obviously we know those mixers I mentioned before as being analog.
Yeah.
This is a digital mixer.
Right. Happy that you said that, because to be honest, and it could be the wooden finish on the sides of this mixer. It does look like an analog mixer, but it is completely digital.
It's got an analog mind with a digital heart.
Right.
Yeah.
That's cute.
So bless. The way that kind of works is, so you've got everything here is, again, we had the Rane MP2014 as well. Previously, that was a 2-channel rotary. And all the components in here, they're the kind of best in class, highest you can possibly get. The phono inputs, the converters. What the converters are is they are AKM Audio 4 Pro converters, which, with a bit of Googling, you'll realize that is kind of real high standard, flagship kind of stuff, audiophile stuff. So let's say, for example, you plug in media player.
Yep.
What happens is as soon as the audio hits the input, it's immediately spinning it into digital, basically.
Okay. Yeah.
And the digital path follows down, essentially. So your cleanest digital signal would be using, let's say, a media player, digital out straight in.
Yeah, of course, because
Yeah. Now, the reason it is digital is for a few reasons. There's a lot of kind of routing options, a lot of kind of sub-mixing options going on with this. And to kind of do that on a level that we're seeing here, make it fully analog, would be not just an expense on, maybe our part, but then obviously the customer's part as well. That would take the price up quite a lot. But with digital, we have the benefit of, it's a case of any after-sales situation is quickly remedied. The more bespoke something can get, the more and more time something may be spent waiting to come back to be serviced.
Okay.
And sometimes there's practical applications for that as well. So that's another reason as well. But everything in here that's digital is the absolute best in class, basically. So let's say we've got the 12s in here. This is the digital input, but let's say we had a turntable. Following the kind of signal path down, obviously at the top we've got the ISO. We'll come to that later.
Okay.
But just your standard track strip, obviously, we've got your gain, your high, mid, and low. These are full kill EQs. We've got your filter. You'll see here there's 3 switchables. We've got a high pass, low pass, and a low and high pass. And the mix here, and a complete absence of crossfader. Yeah,
and actually the old Roman numerals at the bottom for saying which channel it is.
The old Newman numerals down the bottom there.
Nice touch.
Yeah. So how this works in terms of starting with the ISO, I'm going to talk about 3 things.
Okay.
Now, obviously, it lends itself to a certain style of mixing because you're not kind of quickly chopping things out. You're long blending stuff.
So, mate, without sort of ruining your flow here, let me just say something, right? Like, this mixer, it doesn't have a crossfader.
No.
It doesn't. The volume faders aren't faders. They're rotary.
Exactly. Yeah.
Knobs. So
if I played some audio here, you can see.
Yeah.
We're literally going from 0 to 10. Our 0 point isn't going to be 12 o'clock. It's going to be right down.
Yeah. So instead of slowly bringing up the tune like that, you bring it up by twisting.
Exactly. Yeah.
I just wanted to kind of get that out of the way for people that might not kind of, people might be looking at it and going, where's the crossfader? Where's the? But this doesn't have a crossfader on it at all.
No,
it doesn't.
No,
but are you going to come on to that later?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to produce one from my pocket.
Okay.
I'm going to retrofit this on. But yeah, so that's something to bear in mind. So it does take some getting used to if you're not familiar with that kind of way of working. But again, once you do start experimenting, it can be quite fun to kind of see where you can take it and how you apply it to what you DJ.
Yeah.
So let's start with, in fact, I'm going to cover 3 things, but let's start with the first thing you see here, which is the ISO at the top. Now, I mentioned you've got 3 EQs here, switchable, but at the top, you've basically got like a master section, basically. This is called the isolator EQ. So you've got a low, mid, high band, and also the crossover points for each of those. Now, what the purpose of this is, it's kind of like a master filter for your master output, basically.
Okay.
So if I just run to a key point here, the second deck. Now, I've got this little kind of activate button. So if I press this in and start turning a few of these, you'll see this is kind of standard EQ behavior. Because we can punch them in and out, I can, let's say, back off on the mid and the high, kick on the high, and just have a quick filter punch.
So that's literally like the on-off switch.
Literally, yeah. But the really cool thing about it is, if you're doing, let's say,
Sorry, I find that really bizarre.
It is weird, isn't it? Yeah.
Turning it down
you're
like that.
What are you doing?
I can't get my head around it just yet. But yeah, okay, sorry.
If you're doing let's say, super open format, going decade to decade, genre to genre, and let's say you're playing some vinyl as well, it works as a good way to kind of just tweak what you're playing to the system that you're playing through, because it's designed to be played through really high-end systems. Yeah. But if you're playing, going through the decades, and obviously music is mastered at certain volumes, obviously the further into these 80s and the 90s we get, music gets a bit louder. Yeah. You can kind of tailor the track to the previous track you were playing out in a way. So you could be playing it and think, actually, you know what? If I just tweak the high a bit and the mid, give it a bit more crunch in the mid. So you can kind of tweak it to the system you're playing to. But I mentioned as well, you've got these crossovers. Now the cool thing about the crossovers is, it's even more tweaking. I'm going to use that word a lot with this mixer. Yeah. There's a lot of tweakability.
Well, that's what you do though.
Exactly, exactly.
You tweak knobs, don't you? Crikey, let's not go down that route.
Yeah. So, with the high and the mid and the low, if I just start to tweak these again, and I move the crossover, you'll see, as I move this, at which point this frequency comes down and the low comes in. So there's a lot of scientific kind of EQ that you can do here.
Yeah, and it's, you can obviously see it here.
Exactly,
That's like a crossfader curve.
Exactly, yeah. So if I bring these all the way down and sweep on the mid, but if I bring them all the way up and sweep, you can hear the difference. And again, it's completely, in the hands of the user, because it can just be a quick EQ drop, or you can really use it as like a super duper kind of master filter, really. Rather than using the three combined here, where you've just got your resonance and the 0 point, here we can go, you know what, let me just bring this out in a slightly different way. Then back to normal.
Yeah.
So the whole purpose with that is, again, it could be a master EQ, or master filter, sorry, for the master output. You can use it as a quick filter, just to do like a filter drop, like that. And again, you can tailor it to the system you're playing through.
And that's always on the whole master, whatever.
That's always on the master output.
Yeah. But then you've got these other filters down here for the channels. Yeah.
So these down here, we've got on each channel 3 filters. So we've got high pass, low pass, and high combined low pass. These are 24 dB octave slope filters. So if I just play that track from that point again. Now here's where first-time users might get caught out, because we're used to being a high and low pass filter just straight away, 0 point. Happy days, we know what we're doing. But if I flick this to the low pass, we have to remember the 0 point is
at the top,
the other end.
Yeah, I've been done with that on certain mixes.
Yeah. So if I flick it out to the high pass, you see now the 0 point is at the other end.
Yeah.
And again, this is going to be seriously tweak city here, because if I start blending this in and then start messing with the ISO, I can really get crazy on a long blend. And because they've got these switches, I can just dip them in and out. And we're back. So it's all about performance kind of EQ, really. That's how that works.
It's very precise.
Yeah.
It's
definitely
a very, very precise mixer.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm quite drawn to it,
It happens, man. It happens.
Yeah,
this is how it gets you. This is how it gets you. And it all starts with the wood panel.
Mate, that wood panel is breathtaking. What a finish.
Yeah. With, this is, again, just to kind of reiterate the fact that like all the components in here, all discrete components are, the highest best in class that you can get. And people will maybe like to argue the fact that digital versus analog. But ultimately, it's taking those elements that are coming in analog and just reproducing them in the best possible digital signal, basically. So it supports up to 96K. Essentially.
Right.
So as soon as it comes in, if the source is 96K, it's spin it back out at 96K, basically. And it supports down to obviously 44.1 as well. So that's the 3 filters. Now, there's another filter.
How many filters has this mixer got, mate?
A couple. No.
More than a couple.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the submix now.
Okay.
Now, how the submix works, again, this is going to be very, very tweaky. So how submix works is, it's a bit like a live sound mixer. When live sound mixers wear this thing called buses.
Yeah.
And then if anyone uses like Logic or Ableton or something,
Ableton, whatever.
you'll
know about
you'll
putting
know about
everything into a certain bus, and then you can
take 3 of those tracks, put it on the one, so I can affect it with one reverb or whatever,
rather than having to do them all on the separate channels. Exactly.
Yeah. And again, all these things, all the filters and all the options on the the blending, the mixing, it's all about workflow and how it applies to what you do. So we've got these source buttons here, and the submix is down here. Also, I'll notice as well, just above the submix, we've got the resonance for the filter. So that's where you'll find that. The resonance always comes into play for the filter here as well, because the way the submix works is I can send any of these 4 tracks to this master section here by activating them just using the sub button.
So what's the difference then in like using this submix to using those filters up there?
Well, with the submix, you can apply 4 tracks, or up to 4 tracks, shall we say, down to the submix and apply the dedicated filter to the submix. But again, it's all about kind of building on that. You could then apply the ISO to the top.
Yeah,
Because
of
with this,
course, yeah.
what you're doing is quickly adjusting the master.
Yeah.
Which ultimately, if you've got, let's say, 3 decks running, or you just coming out of a 3-deck mix or 4-deck mix, you can still tweak and it's still affecting everything.
Yeah.
But here, it's all about kind of
Per channel.
Yeah, per channel. Let's say we only want these two down here.
Yeah.
It's just a quick way of saying, you know what, these two would blend out nicely if I applied the one filter instead of having to use, both my hands on 2 of these filters and start blending while bringing this up and bringing this down.
Can you put that filter on a channel and that filter on top of that filter and those filters on top of that filter on top of that filter?
Yeah.
3 layers of filters.
And you'll see that when I do a little mix using the submix.
Oh, there you go then. All right, sweet.
Yeah. So just to quickly show you. So let's run off this here. And on this deck, deck 3, let's quickly bring in a little loop, which is on deck 3. So I could just go source 1 and 2, like that, and you see the volumes are reduced. That's because the volume's the 12 o'clock position. But if I do that again, run to the submix, I've got control of both those channels using this one rotary, but also I can apply the filter to both of these tracks. And again, the resonance is adjustable here as well. And again, this filter here is switchable between high pass, low pass, high and low pass.
Yeah.
Now, a cool thing with the submix is, on the MP2015, we have an aux in, and you can see here, the way this is laid out, it's very much the kind of the channel flow, or the circuit flow, if you will, because from the aux, we can run this down to our submix as well. So if we've got an auxiliary input, we can also affect it with the filter, the mix, and also the submix has a dedicated low, high, and mid as well. So it's filters within filters within filters within filters.
Yeah,
basically.
It's like the old rabbit hole, isn't it?
So if I take that back up here, so we're in the submix now. We've got a dedicated high and low, and a filter for the submix, which I could then apply with the ISO, and then go back to my channel and apply another filter.
Yeah.
And because of its kind of this kind of kill switch nature, I can just bring them all out again very quickly.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Yeah, nice.
And again, this is all workflow. How does it relate to you? That kind of thing. And again, we talked earlier about long blends and things like that. It just lends itself so brilliantly to that. It sounds like a bit of a cliche, but it's true, because once you start tweaking, and you've got 32 bars or 64 bars to go, you can go crazy with how you filter that track out.
Yeah. All right, sweet. So, mate, you're going to show me this submix then?
Yeah.
You're going to give me a
So basically, the submix looks a little bit like this. Now, what you're going to see here is I'm going to have a track running on one deck, and I'm going to bring in a loop on deck 3, and eventually mix out into deck 2. The way this is going to work is I'm going to apply track 1 and 3 to the submix. I'm going to start bringing in channel 2.
Yeah.
I'm going to filter both of these channels out using the submix,
Yeah.
and then just blend in channel 2, basically.
Okay.
And at some point, I probably may apply a filter as
Okay.
well, because there's a few to choose from.
It'd be rude not to, really.
And that looks a bit like this.
Very nice, mate. Very nice indeed.
Thank you.
Smooth. Rotary, filtery smooth.
Twisty, turny smooth. That's what that is. Tweaky. So anything else kind of mix? You've got an effects loop as well. So you can bring in any external effects unit. And also, standard stuff down here. You've got your cue, blend, and obviously your mic as well here with duck option for the mic as well.
It's just one microphone input, yeah?
Yep, sure. One mic with a combi XLR jack input.
Okay, nice. All right, sweet.
As far as the back connectivity goes, we've got dual USB sound cards. And for the USB output, we've actually got 5 stereo playback and 7 stereo record options on the USB port. And these will support 44.1, 48, and 96K as well. So as well as the USB, we've got all of our usual switchables. We've got the phono, CD, and SPDIF level. And also, as far as kind of compatibility goes, we're using this with Serato at the minute. Obviously, we can use it standalone, the purest kind of way.
Yeah.
But also, this is a Tractor certified mixer as well.
There you go, yeah.
Yeah, so the techno guys can get straight on it.
Tractor and techno hand in hand, yeah.
Techno guys and girls. But also as well, this works with virtual DJ. Mind blown.
Get out. Get out. Virtual DJ, yeah? I mean, I've not taken away from virtual DJ.
No.
But I didn't expect that.
No, it's quite surprising, isn't it?
Yeah. Wow. So imagine like virtual DJ. I couldn't imagine this to be a mixer for a kind of mobile DJ.
It would be a pretty good wedding though, wouldn't
it? You'd be like... No, it can't be, can it? Yeah, well, fair play, mate.
Yeah.
Virtual DJ. If anyone is using this with virtual DJ, please feel free to comment on this video because I would love to know how that came about, to be honest. But so Serato Tractor and virtual DJ.
Yeah. And as far as kind of out the box goes, this is DVS upgrade ready.
Okay.
Yeah. So out the box, obviously unlocks Serato.
Yeah.
And then with most Rane mixers, you have the Rane app as well, like the Rane control app. So you can adjust kind of phonosensitivity and then certain settings on the mixer and then save them. And then
Crossfader curve. No.
No.
None of that.
No, none of that. It's not hiding anywhere in this mixer at all. No. So we've had a discussion before about you missing headphone jacks, etc.
Yeah.
Scourge of the universe. So on the MP2015, we've got top loading, and then we've got the 1/8 and the 1/4 inch on the front panel as well.
Yeah, so there's 3 headphone inputs. Yeah. But then the 1/4, and there's 2 quarters.
Yep, and you've got the 1/8.
And then 1/8, yeah.
Cool.
Oh,
so you're covered.
So this is literally like if you prefer to have your headphones here or here.
Yeah. And people are particular about that, I've noticed.
Yeah, to be honest, if you're buying this mixer, then,
you're a pretty particular
I'm
person.
pretty sure you're particular about a lot of things. Yeah.
Certainly not a new product. This has been around for some years now. But, it does the rounds on social, shall we say. And I think it's important because we get asked a lot of questions as well when we take this to a show. How do these actually work in terms of workflow? It's one thing to say that, this is actually a master filter, but how does it apply in terms of to a mix?
Yeah.
Basically. And the submix, just to show you there quickly, it's a way of just being more efficient with your workflow.
Yeah.
And again, having access to many filters.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, mate, I'm really happy that you've brought it in and that I've got to, because I was a bit scared of it. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit scared of it. There's a lot going on. It does, but it is so pleasing to the eye, and it is like, I mean, I know that we keep joking about the wooden finish, but that can come off as well if you don't want that, right?
Yeah, you can actually remove this wood panel as well.
Yeah, so you can sort of have that next to your bar. And your cigar collection
and your Chesterfield
and then when you're taking it to the club, to be honest, if I had this, I wouldn't take it anywhere. It would live at home, and I would just sort of boast about look how twiddly I can be. But mate, it is a beast.
It is, no, absolutely.
It is, and it sounds great, man.
I mean, the people that are either enthusiasts about rotary mixers, it's a case of once you start using it, you understand how that process kind of works.
Yeah.
Because you either think about the way you mix in a different way, or you just realise... I mean, for me personally, when I first started using this, I spent about 2 or 3 hours kind of almost unlearning the way I mix in general.
Yeah.
And having a lot of fun going, actually, if I try that same mix, but blend it like this, and then add, 6 million filters on, how does that work? And you do get lost in it, completely lost in it.
Do you know what? I would absolutely love to see DJ EZ playing a set on this, like sort of. I think he'd get like sprain his wrist, I reckon. But
you need to be delicate with these boys.
Long blends. Yeah, it's very nice. All right, mate. Well, thank you so much for bringing it in.
No
like I say,
like
I've only heard the epic things about the mixer, and now I've seen it, and it is exactly that. It is epic, to be honest.
There's a lot to investigate. But
Yeah.
once you do, you understand why people really get into this style of mixing and this style of mixer.
Yeah.
Because it's coming from a big heritage, and also, we joke about it being techno and whatever, but you
can play
you can make it
anything
your
on
own.
it.
You can
Yeah,
make it
yeah.
your own.
Yeah.
Completely make it your own.
Definitely.
Just don't scratch on it.
Yeah. Well, if you could scratch on it, that would be amazing. But yeah, anyway, mate, thank you so
Nice
much for bringing it in.
Cheers, dude.
Yeah, I'll see you again very soon, no doubt.